So overall, this deck's pretty linearized. It's difficult to move too many slots around without having it sort of fall apart on you. However, I think that if you expect a lot of Jund, this Thoughtseize slot is something you really have to look at and consider what you're doing with it. It is kind of hard to have the right card for them because a lot of the things that just trade one for one just aren't good there. But there might be some other variable, something that fits in this slot that does what you want it to. Step Links was also pretty unimpressive. It's possible that it just wants to be Curd Ape, even though I like the white cards on the sideboard. Um, though I guess that might be a factor of having 2/4 because it's once you're down to two, like when you have 4 Step Links in your deck, you can actually like reasonably plan to have one and like play as if you're gonna draw one. But any time that you have 2 Step Links in your deck, you're basically locked into playing as if you're never gonna draw one. Whenever you like don't have one, so you make fetch decisions as a result, then you just like draw links and it's just bad. Also, multiple links is like a pretty big thing. So those would probably be Curd Apes would be something I'd explore. Um, Even something as stupid as like Titan Strength might be not unreasonable. Though I guess that's not really the card I'm looking for against John. Like a Dismember in the main deck's not the end of the world. This is probably better against the metagame as a whole, and it's not horrific against Jund, especially game one. So maybe you just leave it and sideboard differently. Looking at the sideboard, I liked Ranger a lot. You do have to adjust what land you're taking out. Sam's sideboard guide was taking out Sacred Foundry, but as we learned, you do need to leave that in in case someone goes quarters your land or whatever. So the force is good. Realistically, the sideboard's a lot of fine cards that I'm okay with having. Um, Fork Bolt is interesting versus like Dark Blast. Dark Blast is like actively going to dominate Infect if you play it against them, so that's a card I would consider there. This deck's pretty impressive. Your mid-range matchup is not absurdly good, which is another plus in the you know Eldritch Evolution decks side of things. The bulkier, grindy decks like that tend to do very well against Jund and Abzan and Mardu and those kinds of decks, especially if they're able to slot in enough removal, which again, being able to shift to Eldritch Evolution instead of Collected Company does for you. So I might be a little wary of this deck at times, but I will say this. The Eldritch Evolution deck does not have a great thing to find against this deck, especially if it starts moving into main deck dismembers. Though I guess you can't dismember an Angel of Jubilation if they go that way. But if you start going more removal heavy main deck, they don't have a good hate card, and they don't have a good answer to just getting double strike trampled for 20 on turn 3.